Okay, my friends, so here we have, again, a simulator because this stuff always calls for spreadsheets, right? And what it's going to do is it's flipping 10 coins. You can see them right there. Heads, tails, whatever, blah, 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 blah. These are all governed by random numbers, just like we've seen in the past, ones and twos, depending on whether it gets a one or a two, it makes a head or a tail. And then I'm color coding it here so you can see when they switch, because a run is any length of them in a row. So right here, it starts with heads, then it switches to tails. So that first heads was a run. This next tails is also a run. That's a run. They're ones, but that's a run because they're changing. This right here is another run. So we're up to 4, 5, 6, 7. So we got 7 runs right here. Okay, I'm gonna re-randomize. Okay, this is kind of cool. We have 4 here. We've got a run of 3 heads. We've got a single tail, then we've got a run of 5 heads, and then a single tail. Let's re-randomize again. 2, 1, 2, 2, 1, 2. Nothing more than 2. All right, looks like we've got a 1, a 2, and a 5. So that gives us 4 runs again. Okay, so this is every time I re-randomize, we're getting different numbers of runs, and we'll come back to that and what I was looking at in class in a second. I've also tried to make this a little bit easier to see by keeping track. We zoom out here, keeping track over here. This is how many runs we actually see in the row over here, currently 7. And then this graph down here is keeping track of overall how many runs we got. So let's see, that was another 7. That was another 7. That was a 5. That was an 8. Ooh, that's the first time we've gotten an 8, right? That was another 7, a 4, a 7. We like the 7s. 6. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna go ahead and hold this puppy dog down, and we're gonna let it spin. Ooh, and just as soon as I do that, we got a 3. I got a 2. Ah, man, wish I'd been paying closer attention. Anyway, it's all good. I'm gonna let this run for a while and let that graph kind of fill out. It's got kind of a cool shape you might recognize. We've studied it in this class. And once it's kind of good and filled out, we're gonna come back, we're gonna chat about it. Okay, I think that's enough. I think we've got a pretty good idea of what's going on. And I'm actually going to do something to make this a little bit easier to look at. We're going to throw the counts on the bars because we're going to use those in a second here. Okay, so we're going to use this graph right here to actually answer the rest of the questions in the exam. So what you might want to do is maybe screen grab this, because the next, like I said, the last few questions on this take-home part are going to deal with that graph right there. Kind of cool. We saw one run twice, meaning that we had either all heads or all tails. That was kind of fun. I wish I had seen that. We saw 10 runs 6 times. We stopped on 7. 7, it's interesting. We saw a lot of 7s in the beginning, but now that we've run this experiment, well, a couple thousand times, it looks like. I'll have you figure that out in a second. 7 is prevalent, but not super prevalent. Okay, so take a screen grab of this graph, and we're going to use this graph to answer the last few questions.